Today we're going to take a look at Proverbs chapter 9. And in this chapter of Proverbs, we see that there are two different sides calling out to us and crying out something to us. And so I want to read just a portion of it. First, we have wisdom who's calling out to us. And wisdom is calling out from the highest point in the city. And in verse 4, wisdom is saying this. Wisdom is saying, "Let all who are simple come to my house." To those who have no sense, she says this, "Come eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways and you will live. Walk in the way of insight." And that's at the beginning of the chapter, wisdom's calling out. And then at the end of chapter 9, we see that folly is calling out to us. And in verse 14, it says this. It says, "She sits at the door of her house, on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling out to those who pass by, who go straight on their way." And she says this. She says the same thing that wisdom was saying. She says, "Let all who are simple come to my house." And then she goes on to say something a little different. To those who have no sense, she says, "Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious. But little do they know that the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead." And so we see that at the beginning of this chapter, we have wisdom calling out to us, and at the end we have folly. And they're both at the highest point of the city. They're both at the highest point calling out, trying to get our attention, trying to get us to make that choice, whether it's the wisest choice or the foolish choice. They're trying to get us to be swayed in their direction. And so I want to pull out real quick in verse 4 and also in verse 16 where it says the simple. And it may not come across the same way that the definition that I have here, but the real definition of what simple means in this sense is someone who is easily deceived or persuaded. And so we see that they're looking for those people who may be on that way. Maybe this is you. I know that I've been in this situation where I'm easily persuaded or I'm easily deceived into thinking, oh, maybe I should do what's easiest. Maybe I should make the choice that's easiest. And that's the temptation in life, is that we get to the point where we come to a decision and we see that this decision is going to be the easiest and maybe this other decision might be harder, and so we take the easy way out. Well, what I get from this chapter is that in my life, when it comes to a decision, the decision of wisdom might be the hardest choice. And usually that's the truth most of the time, where we'll come up to a decision and the wisest decision is usually the hardest decision to make. And so I want to encourage you as you read this chapter that the wisest decision is the decision you want to make. They're both calling out for us, they're both crying out. The wisest choice is the one we want to make. And the reason why is because the wise choice leads us to life, and the foolish choice leads us to death. It says it right there in the scripture, that it says, "Leave your simple ways and you will live." And then folly says, it says that, "But little do they know that the dead are there, that her guests are deep in the realm of the dead." And so today, as you think about this scripture and as you look and apply it to your life, what are some of the foolish things that maybe it's the easy thing, it's the easy way out? What are some of those decisions in your life where you may see, okay, the easy way out is this, but the harder choice is this? Take a look at that in your life today and see what choice you should make.